Hello, in this screencast we're going to look at how to work out the perimeter of a sector. Now you will have already looked at the screencast on how to work out the area of a sector, and we'll just quickly revise that. To work out the area of a sector, remember it is the angle of the sector, which we call theta, divided by 360 times the formula for the area of a full circle. And the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now remember, just to recap, remember a sector is a piece of pi out of a circle. So this shaded region in here is the area of the sector in question. And you'll notice that that blue line there, that's the radius of our sector, and this angle is the angle in here, the angle of our sector. So remember, theta is the angle in here, the green angle, and it's always divided by 360, and then we times it by pi r squared. So if we did a quick calculation and worked out the area of this sector, it would be the angle, which is 76.9 degrees, divided by 360 degrees, times pi. Now remember, we approximate pi to 3.14, multiplied by the radius squared, or in this case the radius is 6.51. So it's going to be 6.51 squared. So if we work that out on our calculator, it'll be 76.9 times 3.14 times 6.51 times 6.51 again, because it's squared, and then divide everything by 360. And if we do that, our answer is 28.426. Actually, we'll just round that back to 28.43. So 28.43. And if these units were in centimetres, if that radius was centimetres, then our area of our sector would be 28.43 centimetres squared. So that would be the area of this sector. But what if we wanted to work out the distance around the outside of the sector? In other words, the perimeter of the sector. Well, let's have a look how we might do that. So we're now going to talk about how to work out the perimeter of a sector. Now, before we continue, there's just a new term I wish to introduce. You'll notice that if we had to work out the perimeter of this sector, remember, to work out the perimeter, in any case, you start at some given point and you imagine you're walking around the outside of the shape, the complete outside, until you come back to where you started. So if we did this here, we would be walking along this straight line, which is the radius, around this curved bit, and then down this straight line. So the sector has a radius on that side and a radius on this side, and it's got a curved bit over here. The part of the circumference is called the arc. So that there is known as an arc. So we'll just look a quick little diagram just to label that. So there's our sector, and here's the angle in here. That's the angle in there. And this curved section around here is known as the arc. And we often refer to that, if we're measuring that distance, we refer to it as the arc length. Okay? Now remember this section here, that straight line from the center of our circle, to the circumference is known as the radius. So that there is the radius, and also this line here is the radius. So the distance around the outside of a the distance around the outside of a sector, the perimeter of a sector, is going to equal, if we start here, it's going to be the radius plus the radius again. Well, that's the radius plus the radius, which is two lots of radius, so it'd be 2r. So it's radius plus radius again, which is 2r, plus the arc length. Now, how do we work out the arc length? Well, the way we work out the arc length is very similar to the way we work out the area of a sector. So to work out the arc length, it's simply the fraction of the circle we're talking about. So it's the angle in here divided by 360, just like it is with the area of a sector. So to work out the arc length, it will equal the angle in question, this internal angle in here, in this case it's 84.38, divided by 360, and we're going to multiply that not by the formula for the area of a circle, but we're going to multiply it by the formula for the circumference of the circle, because we're finding what fraction of the circumference this arc is. And hopefully you'll remember that the circumference of a circle is 2 times pi times r, or some people write that as pi times d, and that's fine as well. Anyway, so therefore to work out the perimeter of a sector, it's actually equal to, if we put all this together, it's going to be 2r, where r is the radius of the sector, plus theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Now, remember, always do this part first, and then the last thing you do is add on your 2 times the radius, okay? So let's do an example. Let's pick, there we go, we'll go with that sector here. Now this time what we want to work out the distance around the outside of our sector, in other words the perimeter. So let us get this out of the way. Oops, wrong. I'll actually, if you want to pause this and copy that down, I'm going to clear this. So if you can now, pause, copy it down, and then start again when you've actually done that. Okay, so we're going to work out the perimeter of this sector. Which is equal to twice the radius plus the angle over 360 times 2 pi r. And we're going to put that in big brackets just so that to remind you, you do this calculation first, then you add the 2r on the end. So let's do it. So it's going to be 2 times the radius, so it's going to be 2 times 6.76 plus, in brackets, the angle over 360. Well, in this case, the angle is 119.2. So it's 119.2 divided by 360 times 2 pi r. So what we're going to do then, we're going to work out what's in the brackets first, and then we're going to add this section last, okay? So, working out what's inside the brackets, or before we do that, we need to actually substitute our value for r in. So it's actually going to be 2 times, actually I'll work out this part first, the 2 times 6.76, and that equals 13.52. So we've got 13.52 plus bracket 119.2 divided by 360 times 2 times 3.14, which is our value for pi, times the radius, which is 6.76. Now, the biggest error that people make here is they get their formula for the circumference mixed up with the formula for the area of a circle. So remember, when we're working out just the length or the circumference or part of the circumference of a circle, it's 2 pi r, or it is pi times d. What that or that, it doesn't matter. They both mean the same thing. So let's finish our calculation. Okay, so it's going to be 13.52 plus 119.2 times 2 times 3.14 times 6.76, and that equals 5,060. So we've got in brackets on the top 5,060.37, and all of that is divided by 360. Okay, so we divide that by 360, and that gives us 14.06. So our final answer is going to be 13.52 plus 14.0, actually it's 56, actually it's 57, so there we go, 14.057. So if we add those two together, we get 27.58, rounding up. So it's equal to 27.58. Now, if our radius was measured in millimeters, if the radius was millimeters, then this would be our total perimeter in millimeters. Remember, this is the perimeter, so it's not millimeters squared, it's just millimeters. So, just to quickly recap, to work out the area of a perimeter, the formula we use is it's twice the radius plus the radius again, which is twice the radius, plus the angle in here divided by 360 times 2 pi r. And that will give you the perimeter of a sector. Thank you.